join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Good morning. My name is Kate Wallace, and it has been my honor to serve as the president of the Student Council this year. On this beautiful spring day, I am so pleased to welcome all of you to the commencement ceremony for the Middlebury Union High School class of 2019. But before we get started, let me take a moment to acknowledge, on behalf of my classmates, that none of us got here alone. Without the love and support of you parents, grandparents, siblings, extended family members, and friends, we would not be the people we are today. You have been and continue to be the wind in our sails, and for that, we cannot thank you enough. And to the faculty, administrators, and staff members of the Middlebury Union High School, we extend another heartfelt thank you. Through your patient teaching and guidance, you have provided us with what we need to set sail today toward our next goals. So to all of you, I say welcome. You are part of this commencement too. Thank you for being here with us today. Now it is my pleasure to welcome Principal William Lawson to the podium.
Good morning on this beautiful sunny day. It's certainly shining upon you. It's very fortunate that finally spring has arrived. I want to start by congratulating you, the class of 2019, the faculty and administration, and all of the people gathered here this morning are proud to be celebrating your achievement in getting to this important milestone. Our world is undergoing rapid change. The class of 2019 has experienced significant change during its years at MUHS, especially this past year. You are witnessing change nationally and globally. At MUHS, you experienced a significant daily schedule change, a lengthened school day, course requirements increased, and school safety drills changed. Nationally, the political climate has experienced change, accompanied by intense and divergent emotions and opinions. Globally, it feels like the world has become more visible due to the modern social media and communication advances. We can watch the evening news and actually witness the ice caps melting. Many of these changes produce strong emotions and fuel anxiety and trepidation. Others present opportunities for inquisitiveness and principled actions. The changes at MUHS have been made to prepare those who will follow you into the world which you will soon be entering. While you are leaving MUHS too soon to reap the benefits of these changes, many of their foundational principles offer you valuable guidance as you journey forward. Today is a day for you to reflect on the memories that have gotten you to this point and to think ahead to what experiences you will experience in the next few years. As I reflect on the noteworthy accomplishments and endeavors of your class, I am struck by the creativity, action, and service that you have aspired to, such as Michael Huber earning his pilot's license, Hogan Beasley ranking as the 7th best high school golfer in New England, Grace Woodlitz spending a summer interning at Germany's Planck Institute for Brain Research, Lacey Grinemeyer's successful speed skating at Lake Placid, Kate Wallace being named a Vermont Presidential Scholar by the Vermont Agency of Education, Abby LaRocque, Parker Beatty, Wyatt Cameron being recognized by the Burlington Free Press as athletes to watch, Ian Fenster achieving over 100 offensive rebounds in unified basketball, and Mike Odell, who scored 88 points in unified basketball's 5th period. As you move forward, it will be important to nurture your curiosity by using inquiry to further develop your skills and knowledge. Express yourselves confidently and creatively. Critically appreciate your own cultural heritage, as well as to be open to the values and experiences of others. And as you explore your expanding world with open lenses, always be caring by showing compassion and respect for all of the lives that you encounter. And many of you did just that by showing your caring to faculty and staff by rectifying a recent senior prank gone awry. By embracing these values, you and all of your nation's other 2019 graduates have a chance to end the divisiveness that our country is now mired in. As you leave today's stage, you will undoubtedly experience frustration, anxiety, perhaps even depression. Professor Gimi from Tufts Medical Center postulates that in the past 20 years, the rate of adolescent anxiety and depression has doubled from 11% of the population to 22%. It is interesting to note that Dr. Gimi attributes much of this to the enormous change in our uses of pocket media and larger screen media. I'll leave it to others to discuss that phenomenon. Nevertheless, you will be challenged to cope with these unintended consequences of modern technological growth. To do so, you must find balance in your lives. We don't sponsor our large athletic programs simply to hang banners on the walls, although several of you have contributed to state championship teams. Our greater purpose is to show you the benefits to your state of mind and physical health that regular movement provides. So whether it's silent retreats, yoga, music, drama, sailing, horseback riding, find a way to balance the daily grind. Finally, as you embrace your world, I urge you to continually reflect upon your own and others' experiences and feelings. Deep reflection, which honestly calculates your strengths and weaknesses, will assure your growth, well-being, and humanity. Please accept my best wishes for your future. Thank you. It is a distinct honor for me to present the Salutatorian and Valedictorian Awards. These awards are given to the students of the senior class who have achieved at the highest levels academically. This year, the Salutatorian for the class of 2019 is Grace Woodlitz. Receiving the Valedictorian Award for the class of 2019 is Macy Newberry.
Thank you to parents, guardians, grandparents, teachers, administration, my family, who I love, and most importantly, you, my classmates for 4 years. I really considered what I want to say in a graduation speech because I want to say something that matters. So I settled on this. Though media has been a part of people's adolescent lives for quite some time now, in today's world, its presence is felt more strongly than ever before. In particular, social media carries a unique weight. It has essentially created a conflict in that it empowers, spreads awareness rapidly, keeps us in tune with current issues, but at the same time, it magnifies the weight of these social issues. Oftentimes, a post pops on my feed or Explore page in which someone is expressing their activism, making me aware of something important. This, of course, shows the positive side of social media. At the same time, as I keep scrolling to see dozens of other posts relating to that very issue, I not only get exposed once, as I would with a newspaper article or news story, but I am reminded again and again. And because I'm a sensitive person, I hold the weight of each individual post, so in this way, social media can magnify the impact of an issue and force me to engage with it many times over. I bring up this phenomenon because we are the first to experience it. Due to unfamiliarity, we are unable to turn to past generations for an answer. Instead, it is entirely upon us to find a solution. It's particularly important that we do so, as this problem is not specific to political issues. Social media affects us deeply on personal levels as well, also in ways that previous generations haven't had to experience. Essentially, the focus turns inward as social media causes us to question our actions, validity, and socially acceptableness. Yes, past generations have experienced negativity in the media, but they interacted with it in a completely different manner. The newspaper can be put down, the radio and TV switched off, unlike the constant flow offered by social media, which now spits out the same message at a much greater frequency. I guess this is all really to say that we face and feel a greater magnitude of negative energy as high schoolers in 2019 compared to previous generations. Along with magnification of political issues, social media has increased the superficial judgments made about people. Now, this might seem obvious, but since more of our interaction is digital and not face-to-face, we see what people choose to display about their activities, lifestyle, or bodies. When we see a post, we are forced to make an automatic decision about whether or not we like what we see. When I reflect on social media, I realize that the instant judgment demanded by social networking sites is just so messed up. We're frequently told to be careful about what we put out there on social media, as it could affect our chances of getting a certain job or into a certain college, but we aren't nearly as often told to be careful for our mental health, which ultimately matters more and will actually affect us a lot more in the long run. Not only is social media limiting and superficial, but is one of the biggest contributors to the self-doubt that so many of us are so familiar with. Of course, feelings of self-consciousness can arise from other sources, but social media magnifies them or functions as a new source of concern altogether. Now with social media, I can sit in class and worry if people think my new shirt is cool And if the picture of me and my friends all dressed up for prom that I posted last night is cool. Great. Though a lot of positivity can come from the instant gratification of getting likes on Instagram, which I hate to admit that I do find affirming, this fulfillment ends up being temporary, whereas the anxieties and worry tend to linger, and the nature of social media is what allows it to do so. It seems kind of ironic that taking care of ourselves holistically is made more difficult by a technology that's purpose is self-expression. It turns out that this technology creates the unspoken expectation of being social media perfect and goes on to reinforce this expectation by exposing us to our own imperfections again and again. Knowing this issue stands and is not going away anytime soon, how shall we live our embodied, experiential, and digital lives in a balanced way? The answer to this dilemma is complex and varies based on who you are and what you need. You know, people have said, oh, just shut off your phone, or why don't you delete Instagram or Snapchat or Facebook? Yeah, okay. People are not going to stop passing the instant judgments that get stuck on the various platforms, I'm afraid. So it looks like it's on us to find a mindset change. Now, there isn't one true answer, but I do have some ideas. This past winter, I was in a class at a meditation center, and the yoga instructor teaching the class said something that I still think about almost every day. She said, "Life is too short to worry about being awkward." I mean, like, right? But anyway, since that advice, I cannot tell you the number of times I've caught myself thinking, oh, was that a weird thing to say? Should I have done this, not done this, said something else, not posted that comment, and stopped, reflected on the instructor's advice, and let it go. Life is too short to worry about being awkward, especially because of the way social media facilitates superficial judgment passing and fuels our self-conscious tendencies. So I guess what this phrase helps me do is keep it all in perspective. It reminds me that we must be mindful and pay attention to how we're interacting with social media, because ultimately, we need to take care of ourselves. This phrase also helps me remember that we have the choice to decide how we are going to interact with social media, and that we have the power to set our own boundaries. Once we're able to stop worrying about being social media perfect, there's room to find what we need to take care of ourselves, even if those needs aren't perfect. It's up to each of us to figure out what we individually need to take care of ourselves, and it's each of our choices to decide how to proceed. We have the answers inside of us. Whether they are learned or naturally within us, we need to tap into them, whatever they may be, and begin to live them. Figuring out how to do this is a huge piece of our next steps, because even though we have the power and freedom to do so, we also need the confidence to not expect ourselves to be perfect, or more importantly, look perfect to others. As we know from the news right now, our politicians aren't going to figure it out for us. Even the engineers of social media can't figure it out. We're the pioneers of this strange new ground, and we often get a bad rap. So, while our parents and grandparents have always been there with great advice, they certainly don't have this answer. You have the power to live out whichever answer makes sense for you, so I say, do it. Thank you again, and congratulations to the class of 2019.
Before I begin, I would quickly like to thank some people. Firstly, Mr. Sears for helping me write and revise this speech. Secondly, my parents for their sage advice and book recommendations delivered over delicious nightly family dinner. Thirdly, my friends, who have given me a place to sit at lunchtime and a series of wacky, loosely related misadventures that I hope never to forget. I would also like to acknowledge my brother, Robbie Newbury, who will be ending his time at Middlebury Union High School with the class of 2019. Unfortunately, he is unable to participate in the graduation ceremony, but is surely somewhere in the crowd. As high school comes to a close, I've been thinking a lot about impermanence and its tendency to show itself at the most unexpected and inopportune moments. For example, if you had told me in the fall of 2015, when I was a freshman at Middlebury Union High School, that my high school career would outlast the roof and spire of the Notre Dame Cathedral, I probably would have written it off as an affront to my intelligence rather than a genuine prediction of the future. My point here could be, perhaps, that life is unpredictable, but in the day-to-day humdrum of adolescence, it hardly feels that way. In high school, adults will tell you that everything in your life needs structure. From your 5-paragraph essays to every single minute of your schedule to the layout and cleanliness of your living space. Consequently, my life, for 4 years, has been a variation of more or less the same thing every single day. There's nothing wrong with that. At times, it's even comforting. I've had the same role, the same purpose, and the same standards by which to judge my success. There have been some curveballs and some rough patches, sure, but I've definitely settled into a routine here. Very soon, when we, the graduates, recess out of the hockey rink and onto the rec fields, our lives will be ever so slightly changed. We always knew this day would come. We even wished for it to come sooner. Since late August of 2015, we have scratched days off of our calendars anxiously, expectantly. For those of you who are not keeping track, today marks the 1,383rd day since our first day of high school. But tell me, what makes today any different from the 1,382 other days of our enrollment at MUHS? The truth is that today is different because it's the last one, the day we always knew about but never truly believed in. As high school students, we grow accustomed to routines in spite of knowing they will become unviable. As humans, we build historic, gorgeous buildings with the unattainable goal of permanence. It's no secret that ultimately, the institutions we invest with great meaning and the things we do every day change. Maybe it happens suddenly, like fire in the Notre Dame Cathedral, but more often it happens slowly, like the old barn behind your house that you and your best friend used to play in, falling into disrepair, so that one day you step outside to see that the roof has caved in. You always knew it would happen. You saw the peeling paint revealing the rotting wood. You tell yourself you never really wanted to step inside anyway. You haven't in years. What should make today any different, right? It is in these moments of transition that we truly come to understand what is important to us, which parts of our routine make the whole thing worth it. In a way, the priorities we establish limit us. We become tied to what we hold sacred and to the people who we love, but in another, truer sense, they liberate us because they grant us the awareness, discipline, and motivation that allow us to truly care about and make sacrifices for each other. I think that this consciousness is the most important attribute I have chased, however slowly and incrementally through every small and arbitrary transition of my own life. These transitions, of course, have been few and far between. I've never lived anywhere else, and I have left the United States only once in my short life. I am young still, and my most challenging transitions lie ahead of me. This is simply one of many. Often I've been asked the question, if there was a fire in your house, and you could only say one thing, what would it be? And to tell you the truth, I don't know. I don't think I would know until that moment when my life was changing and I had to act quickly, what I would least like to lose. When the Notre Dame Cathedral began to burn, people scrambled to salvage everything they could. Everything was sacred to someone and would therefore be an equally tragic loss to the world at large. People knew what to take instinctively, and here is something that is weird but true. When you look at what survives in a fire, what people choose to save, it is almost never the thing that is most fiscally valuable or hygienically necessary. No one pauses before exiting a burning building to save their toothbrush or their wallet. You can always buy a new toothbrush and make more money. Understandably, in moments of transition and loss, people place the most value on what is truly irreplaceable. The end of something large or long is often considered momentous, and the transition that follows it challenging. What follows for the MUHS class of 2019 is difficult to discern. After all, we're moving on, aren't we? We will become part of a different class at a different institution of 2023, 2024, what have you. Or we will enter the so-called real world directly, working real jobs and earning real wages. We will grow up. Some of us will become someone's mom or dad, and our high school graduation will be nothing but a distant memory, a photo in an album that collects dust on a shelf, or an icebreaker to be used at coffee shops and parties. Luckily, our recession out of this hockey rink will be nothing like the frantic escape from the burning Notre Dame Cathedral, and no, we are not leaving Middlebury Union High School in ruins. Each of us, individually, and all in good time, will decide what to take with us. Me, I hope to take memories of a bizarre night spent at a haunted house on the Champlain Valley Fairgrounds, a strange improvised dance move called the salad toss, a frantic search for ice cream on Memorial Day, and a perfect plane to nowhere. Listening to that song on that drive, windows down, with all of the people I love most in the world and in this room. I wish you all so much more than luck, and I thank you for a truly irreplaceable 1,383 days.
At this time, I would like the following retiring MUHS special educator to join me on the stage. Holly Wilson. Please join me in thanking Holly for her 28 and a half years educating all those that she has encountered. I wish her well as she leaves us. Congratulations. Departmental awards. Middlebury Union High School Departmental Awards are presented each year to members of the graduating class in recognition of their academic achievements. As I read the honorable mention category, would those students please stand to be acknowledged? The recipients will come forward to receive their award from a representative of the department. Assisting in the Languages and Literature Department, Ben Cron. Receiving honorable mention, Ada Anderson, Grace Whittlitz. This year's recipient, Catherine Wallace. Assisting in the Fine Arts Department, Kylie Wolgamore. Receiving honorable mention, Marina Heron-Lahaye and Suzanne Clemmer. This year's recipient, Anna Scharstein. Assisting for the Mathematics Department, Colleen Ringquist. Receiving honorable mention, Silas Conlon and Colin Down. This year's recipient, Suzanne Clemmer. Assisting with the Science Department, Cindy Atkins. Receiving honorable mention, Maisie Newberry and Grace Whittlitz. This year's recipient, Ben Turner. Assisting for the Individuals and Societies Department, Bjarke Sears. Receiving honorable mention, Michael Huber and Catherine Wallace. This year's recipient, Emma Pope McWright. Assisting in the Language Acquisition Department, Natasha Costin. Receiving honorable mention, Silas Conlon, Emma Pope McWright. This year's recipient, Maisie Newberry. Assisting for the Design Department, Ben Slater. Receiving honorable mention, Silas Conlon, Will LaRock. This year's recipient, Colby Farnsworth. Assisting for the Physical Education and Health Department, Deb Karpak. Receiving honorable mention, Jacob Galvin and Brandon Ronish. This year's recipient, Caitlin Stearns.
So, good morning, and congratulations, class of 2019. It's an absolute honor to reflect with all of you today and think about the significance of what today means, both looking back and looking forward. Today is a date you've been looking ahead to for many days, months, and years, and it's a powerful moment to pause and reflect. A time to both celebrate the considerable energy, intellect, and heart that you expended to walk across the stage today, and to also be present in the enormity of this moment as you launch into the next phase of your lives. For some of you, your school career may have flown by, and for others, it may have gone at a snail's pace. What adults say is true. Time does seem to speed up as you get older, and I think I have to acknowledge that at this point. It's important to understand how time does move and to get a handle on it. As you move from elementary to middle to high school to your next journey, it can seem like there are 1,000 things to figure out, juggle, and decide. To push the present moment away, to dive quickly into some future reality. It's common to hear people talk about things they're looking forward to. Summer, Friday, a world with no homework. It's a good thing to be excited about what's next. However, you have to be good with who you are in the present. And that's where you can get a handle on time. By being good with who you are right now, you're able to be in the present. You enter a world that is both increasingly interconnected and progressively more fractured. As Generation Z, I don't know if you all knew you're Generation Z. You know the story you've heard from adults, that the world was different back then. That stuff costed a nickel. And that human interaction was a lot simpler. We actually used to go knock on someone's door to talk to them. As many have shared today in speeches, the world of social media has brought with it an increasingly complex web of human relationship, where self-identity and public opinion can be capricious and volatile. And it's hard to know the ground you stand on in being good with who you are. In modern life, how you feel about yourself can sometimes rely significantly on the online community and how it views you, your posts, your pictures, and your self-marketing. Managing not only yourself, but how the millions out there view you can be overwhelming. As you begin the next phase of your life, commit to also disconnecting from the electronic world to reflect, contemplate, consider, and understand. Creating that space will allow you to see more clearly what's true, what's not, and how to best navigate the decisions ahead of you. Being good with who you are and striving to become better is not easy work, but it's the most important work ahead of you. What E. Cummings wrote is so true. To be nobody but yourself in a world which is doing its best day and night to make you like everybody else means to fight the hardest battle which any human being can fight and never stop fighting. The world needs you to be present, to engage people of multiple viewpoints, to be a force of change, and to carry what you've learned here in ACSD forward into the next community you impact, whether that be in the state, the country, or the global community. There are so many things from your school experience in ACSD you carry forward. Learn from the thousands of people that were part of your time here. Educators, parents, friends, and the greater ACSD community. As you sit here today, know that the jumble of memories, teachings, experiences, and emotions will settle. And as you step back and look at them, you'll see the deep support you have from this entire community, which is absolutely behind you. Remember, class of 2019, strive to be good with who you are, and everything else will follow. Congratulations, and much, much good luck. We will now recognize the class of 2019 and their great accomplishments as we announce our scholarship recipients. You can find scholarship information in your commencement program. I'd like to thank our scholarship donors for their immense commitment to our students. Gifts this year are cresting $100,000. Our first scholarship, the Middlebury Lions Club Memorial Scholarships, in the amount of $2,000 each, are being presented by Helen Jackson Bigelow. This year's three recipients are attending University of Vermont, Colin Dowd, University of Vermont, Samantha Page, and Louisiana State University, Carson Yildirim. The Middlebury Post numbers 27 American Legion and Auxiliary scholarships are $3,500 each. The scholarships are being presented by Laura Flint. This year's 5 recipients are attending Moden College, Parker Beatty, Champlain College, Brenna Cook, SUNY Plattsburgh, Lacey Gurnemeyer, Mills College, Annabelle Hernandez, and Brown University, Maisie Newberry. The Middlebury Sons of the American Legion Squadron number 27. One scholarship in the amount of $1,800 is being presented by Laura Flint. This year's recipient is attending Rochester Institute of Technology, Will LaRock. The Jim Cater Memorial Scholarship is $1,500. The winner, attending Norwich University, Drew Kiernan.
Sorry for the interruption. We have a second Sons of American Legion scholarship award in the amount of $1,500 from Ms. Emily LaFramboise.
The Middlebury Post number 27, Roger J. Desibray Senior Memorial Scholarship in the amount of $1,500 is being presented by Todd Desibray. This year's recipient is, attending Montana State University, Benjamin Crawford. The Addison Central Educators Association scholarships, two $1,000 scholarships are being presented by the Addison Central Educators Association co-president Larry O'Connor. This year's recipients are attending Gettysburg College, Simon Keel, and the University of Vermont, Jesse Rubin. The Hubert N. Wagner Awards for Continuing Education in the amount of $1,200 each are being presented by Leonard Barrett. This year's four recipients are attending Colby Sawyer College, Spencer Cateret, University of Vermont, Zachary Dunn, Rochester Institute of Technology, Will LaRock, and Liberty University, Caitlin Stearns. The Carl Simoneski Legacy Scholarship in the amount of $1,000 is being presented by Sheila Dodd. This year's recipient is, attending University of Vermont, Samantha Page. The Bill Andrews Memorial Scholarship, sponsored by LC Jazz, in the amount of $2,000 is being presented by Ann Severy. This year's recipient is, attending Bishop's University, Suzanne Clemmer. The Ronald A. Manelli Memorial Scholarship in the amount of $1,000 and renewable for 3 additional years is being presented by Michael McLaughlin. This year's recipient is, attending University of Vermont, Joel Pfeiffer. Middlebury High School, Middlebury Union High School alumni scholarships. 5 scholarships in the amount of $2,000 each will be presented by Bill Cunningham. This year's recipients are attending Middlebury College, Hogan Beasley, Wheaton College, Jaden Fitzgerald, Randolph College, Emily LaFramboise, Rochester Institute of Technology, Will LaRock, and Middlebury College, Catherine Wallace. The Alice Worthington Green Fine Arts Scholarship in the amount of $1,000 is being presented by Liz LeBeau. This year's recipient is, attending Mount Holyoke College, Marina Heron LaHaye. The New Haven River Anglers Association Scholarship in the amount of $400 is being presented by Paul Scaramucci. This year's recipient is, attending Northern Vermont University, Linden, Emily Pottinger. The Masonic Memorial Relief Fund Scholarship in the amount of $1,000 is being presented by David Selleck. This year's recipient is, attending Pikes Peak Community College, Joshua Kerr. The VFW 7823 Auxiliary Scholarships are $1,000 each. The scholarships are being presented by Laura Flint. This year's 3 recipients are, attending Tufts University, Silas Conlon, University of Vermont, Colin Dowd, and Springfield College, Carly LaRock. The remaining scholarships will be presented by Adrian Preston and Allison Stevie, our MUHS counselors. The Vermont Student Assistance Corporation Vermont Honor Scholarship in the amount of $1,000 is being presented to, attending Brown University, Maisie Newberry. The Kelly Bow Memorial Scholarships, 2 scholarships in the amount of $2,000 are being presented to 2 recipients. This year's recipients are, attending University of Vermont, Eileen Bosworth, and Middlebury College, Catherine Wallace. The Rhoda Curran Benjamin Memorial Scholarship in the amount of $500 is presented to, attending Jacobs Pillow Internship Program, Peter Orzek. The Dolphin LaFleur Scholarship, 2 scholarships in the amount of $2,000 are being presented to, attending Brown University, Maisie Newberry, University of Pennsylvania, Grace Whitowitz. the Stanton S. Lazarus and Jean M. Lazarus Scholarship for Community Service in the amount of $500. This year's recipient is, attending University of Pennsylvania, Grace Willits. The Waitsfield and Champlain Valley Telecom Eunice B. Farr Incentive Award in the amount of $1,000 is presented to, attending Vermont Technical College, Taylor Sylvester. The NEAT Repeat Scholarships in the amount of $600 each are being presented to 3 recipients. Attending Mills College, Anabel Hernandez, University of Vermont, Samantha Page, and St. Michael's College, Ethan Reederer. The Salisbury Teacher Scholarship in the amount of $200 is being presented to, attending Wheaton College, Jaden Fitzgerald. The Mary C. Force Scholarships in the amount of $1,500 each are being presented to 3 recipients. Attending Thomas College, Jacob Galvin, SUNY Plattsburgh, Lacey Grinemeyer, and St. Michael's College, Abigail Barak. The Muriel Newton Memorial Scholarship in the amount of $500 is presented to, attending Thomas College, Jacob Galvin. The Esther R. Bingham Memorial Scholarship in the amount of $725 is presented to, attending Mills College, Annabelle Hernandez. The James D. Daniel Jr. Legacy Scholarship in the amount of $250 is presented to, attending Norwich University, Drew Kiernan. The Middlebury Union High School Scholarship in the amount of $500 is presented to, attending St. Michael's College, Ethan Reederer. The Ruth Elizabeth Scholarships in the amount of $250 are presented to 2 recipients, attending Champlain College, Jaskaran Singh, and Vermont Technical College, Taylor Sylvester. The Ethel Rogers Scholarship, this scholarship in the amount of $2,000 is being awarded to attending Mount Holyoke College, Emma Pope McWright. The William J. Rogers Scholarship in the amount of $2,000 is being awarded to attending University of Vermont, Colin Dowd. The Williams R. Rogers Scholarships in the amount of $2,000 each are being awarded to 3 recipients attending SUNY Colesgill, Lucas Farrell, Advanced Welding Institute, Ian Fenster, and Bishop's University, Georgiana Pistilli. I'll now present the Marie Crovat Awards. There are a total of 23 recipients, so please hold your applause till the end. Attending Boston College, Ada Anderson. University of Vermont, Eileen Bosworth. Tufts University, Silas Conlon. University of Vermont, Sam Daly. Yale University, Nora Draper. Wheaton College, Jaden Fitzgerald. Mount Holyoke College, Marina Herin-Lahaye. University of Vermont, Audrey Huston. Vermont Technical College, Justin Jackson. Springfield College, Carla LaRock. University of New Hampshire, Alita Mathers. University of Rhode Island, Eleanor McGarry. St. Lawrence University, Tucker Moulton. University of Vermont, Samantha Page. University of South Carolina, Virginia Pats. Northern Vermont University, Emily Pottinger. St. Michael's College, Ethan Reederer. University of Vermont, Jesse Rubin. Wheaton College, Natalie Sullivan. Colorado College, Dia Taylor. Carleton College, Benjamin Turner. University of Pennsylvania, Grace Woodlitz. And Carnegie Mellon University, Xavier Winku.
There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone, and some remain. All these places have their moments. With lovers and friends, I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life, I love them all. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-all.
Though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before, I know I'll often stop and think about them.
In my life, I love you more, though I know I'll never lose affection for people and things that went before. I know I'll often stop and think about them. In my life, I love you more. In my life, I love you more.
ACSD School Board Chair Peter Conlon, Superintendent Dr. Peter Burrows, I certify to you that all of the members of the class assembled here before you have completed their requirements for graduation. Therefore, I present to you the class of 2019. The following students are unable to be with us today. However, I wish to recognize them as graduates. Nicolo Calder Gori Mantinelli. Brian Pavel Krimlak. Christian A. Leggett. Morgan J. Monette. Olivia Odell. Alexius Marie Palacio. Catherine Margaret Wallace. Eileen May Bosworth. Michael Brian Huber. Xavier Jude Weinkoop. Maisie Candace Newbury. Grace Wilson Bourne Willis. Ada Mae Anderson. William Barber. Parker Beatty. Hogan V. Beasley. Samantha Elizabeth Bennett. Jack Euclid Berthew. Jacob Patrick Broughton. Riley Brown. Trinity Michelle Ann Bryan. Isaac John Michelle Edward Butoff. Spencer Alexander Caterette. Wyatt Wilson Cameron. Danny Marie Campbell Dickerson. Max Stark Carson. Elizabeth Chamberlain. Ezra Joseph Christensen. Nicholas Michael Clark. Heather Ann Flucher. Kendra Marie Bristol. Silas Draper Conlon. Brenna Michelle Cook. Lillian Grace Nissa Cotel. Benjamin James Crawford. Becca L. Crossman. Samuel Vose Daly. Sean Stephen Deering. Tara Riley Donor. Colin Murphy Dowd. Nora Draper. Zachary Dunn. Tristan Durante. Colby Arthur Farnsworth. Lucas Edward Farrell. Derek Paul Felkel. Natalie Megan Feniger. Ian Alden Fenster. Simon Fisher. Jaden Fitzgerald. Ashley Marie Friend. Bethany Lynn Gale. Jacob Michael Galvin. Lacey Jane Grinnemeyer. Caleb Hamilton. Connor Lamar Harris. Owen Oxley Hemingway. Annabelle Hernandez. Marina A. Heron Lahe. Deanna A. Hilaire. Max Theodore Hurdler IV. Nanza Raven Horning. Audrey Elizabeth Huston. Justin Scott Jackson. Anne Marie Capel. Larkin M. Kennedy. Josh Kerr. Simon Otto Keel. Drew T. Kiernan. Suzanne Jane Clemmer. Justin Coons. Emily Elizabeth Laframboise. Abigail Taylor Laurent. Aaron Matthew LaRock. Carly Renee LaRock. Will LaRock. Ayana Margaret Mason. Michael Kane Odell. Alita Janine Mathers. Alexis Matot. Eleanor Jean McGarry. Tucker Marshall Moulton. Peter M. Orzek. Samantha Nicole Page. Colton Edward Paquette. Virginia Megan Patz. Georgiana Warren Pistilli. Emma Larkin Pope McWright. Sophie Christine Poppington. Emily Christina Pottinger. Joel Richard Pfeiffer. Holly Ann Marie Rancourt. Ethan Albert Riederer. Kiera Sue Roberts. Nicholas Patrick Devin Roberts. David James Robidoux. Brandon Caleb Ronish. Jesse Aaron Rubin. Anna Briggs Sharstein. Camden Zachary Schnoor. Kaylee Rose Shum. Jaskaran Singh. Owen Daniel Sutherland. Jordan Scott Stearns. Caitlin Stearns. Natalie K. Sullivan. Ashley Sunderland. Taylor Sylvester. Dia B. Taylor. Megan Flaherty Thomas Daniel. Joshua James Troutwine. Ben Nelson Turner. Grace H. Walker. Serena Lynn Welsh. Harley Jean Williams. Silas Frank Wizzle. Carson Matthew Yildirim.